What's up, everyone? It's Brett from Ukulele Tricks, a website that helps you become a better ukulele player. A while back, I posted a video demonstrating how to play a B minor bar chord on ukulele, and I got a lot of comments from you telling me that you were still having a hard time playing this chord. Some of you even told me it's impossible to play and accused me of being a magician. So, in this video, I want to tackle the biggest challenges that arise when trying to learn that difficult B minor bar chord. I want to give you some tips and tricks for approaching and practicing this often problematic ukulele chord. Let's jump right in. Okay, first things first, let me show you one of the main ways how a B minor chord should be played, then we'll get into how to play it. To play a B minor chord, take the index finger and bar or press down on the bottom 3 strings at the 2nd fret. Then take the ring finger and place it on the 4th fret of the top G string. That's a B minor chord. Now, I know some of you are sitting at home and saying, yeah, Brad, I see how you're playing it, but why don't my fingers work like yours? Well, there's a couple big challenges I want to address and take a look at with you today. And be sure to stick around to the end of the video because I am going to show you a way you can cheat this chord while you continue to practice your B minor chord. All right, the first challenge is I can't get all the strings to ring out. With bar chords, it's hard to press down on the strings and get them all to ring out. It takes a lot of strength to get this chord, so don't be discouraged if you have to really work on this to build up your own strength. But there are a couple things you can try doing. First, make sure the position of the bar is right up against the fret and not in the middle of the fret for maximum leverage. For example, you don't want to be positioned like this. Notice how the strings start to buzz and don't really ring out when I place the bar too far behind the fret. It's better to move up the bar right behind the fret, almost on the fret wire for maximum leverage like this. The other thing you can try is that instead of focusing on just barring the bottom 3 strings, just go for barring all 4 strings and really get the meat of the flesh of the bottom knuckles on your index finger to hold down the strings like so. Notice how much of my index finger begins to stick up over the neck of the ukulele in this position. Now, for those of you with short fingers, that last tip might really be a big key for you, so make sure you give that some practice. Another trick you can try is to use the index finger to bar all 4 strings and then lay the middle finger on top of it to double up the bar, getting even more leverage. Then the ring finger would reach to the 4th fret of the top G string like normal. Between positioning right up behind the fret, using the meat of your finger, and doubling up that bar, one of these methods should get you closer to playing a B minor chord successfully. But speaking of the ring finger, another big challenge a lot of you have is, my ring finger can't reach the top string. What often happens is you get your bar in position and then go to reach for the top string, and the ring finger lays on the other strings, preventing them from ringing out, kind of like this. The biggest trick with this chord is where you place the ball of your thumb. You want to plant the ball of your thumb firmly into the back of the neck. By doing so, you ensure 1, you're in a stable fretting hand position to successfully squeeze and bar the strings. But secondly, with the ball of your thumb firmly planted, you give yourself a pivot point, which allows you to rotate your wrist forward to create less distance for your ring finger to reach that top string. You increase your reach. So instead of pointing your elbow up and back, kind of like this as you bar, think about pointing your elbow down and forward just into the ground, rotating on the ball of that thumb. Just making this small adjustment increases the amount of strength you can muster and allows you to more easily reach and play this chord. Then make sure the ring finger is slightly bent, just a little bit, to ensure clearance so that it does not inadvertently mute the other strings. But again, on that ring finger, the more you can rotate the wrist forward and point the elbow down, the easier it is to reach with that ring finger and to curve it slightly to clear the other strings. Now compare this with a common way where the thumb is sticking up over the fretboard and the elbow is pointed back instead of down. You don't get the leverage you need and you don't get the reach, not to mention it's harder to get all the strings to ring out. Like, I can kind of make this work if I squeeze really hard, but it's sloppy playing and it's much harder to try to play the chord in this position. Not to mention it would be really hard for me to switch to and from this position in the context of an actual chord progression. So instead of that, again, place the ball of the thumb on the neck, point the elbow down, rotate the wrist forward slightly, and reach for that top string with the ring finger like so. Now, some of you, despite your best efforts, you still may not be able to successfully reach with the ring finger. Maybe your hands are small, or maybe you just wonder if there's an easier way still to play this chord. So this challenge is, my hands are just too small. So what can you do? If you have proper thumb position, then you might use your little finger instead of your ring finger for that top string, like so. So the little finger goes on the 4th fret of that top G string while you bar at the 2nd fret. And often what I find with this position is that it tends to work best with doubling up that bar. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get the maximum leverage and you improve your reach slightly to allow that little finger to go up on the 4th fret of the top G string. Keep in mind that the little finger is often the weakest finger in the fretting hand, so even if you can reach, you still might have some challenges with this, but with practice, you will build strength and see improvement. Okay, hopefully by now you've found a trick that helps you get a better result with this chord. And remember guys, this is a hard chord to play. It's not easy. It's not like learning your first easy ukulele chords. We're beyond C, F, and G right now. It requires a lot of practice and effort. You can't expect to just pick up your ukulele, learn a difficult chord like this one in one practice session. You really have to put in that practice. Now, in the meantime, as you're still working on this chord, there is one final trick you can use to cheat when you encounter a B minor chord in a song. You can oftentimes substitute a B minor chord for a B minor 7th chord, which is played by barring all 4 strings at the 2nd fret. Unlike the B minor chord, the B minor 7th chord does not use the ring finger, which means you just bar all strings at the 2nd fret and let them ring out. Now this chord will have a slightly more jazzy sound because of that added 7th note, but it's much easier to play and can allow you to play a song successfully when you see that B minor chord appears. Again though, even if you decide to use the B minor 7th chord as a substitute, as your teacher, I am here to say you need to keep practicing your B minor bar chord. All of the effort you put into this chord will make you a stronger ukulele player. B minor is such an important chord shape to look at because if you can play this, you open yourself up to being able to play dozens of other chords, since this is a movable chord shape. Now, this video isn't on movable chord shapes, but if you want me to talk more about those, post a comment below this video and let me know. Alright, I gave you a bunch of tips and tricks for how to play the hard B minor bar chord on ukulele. What tip did you find the most helpful? Also, as you practice this chord, did you discover anything that might help some other students? If so, post a comment below to help out your fellow ukulele players. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button because it really helps get this video to as many ukulele players as possible struggling with this chord. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.